Hi, in this local SEO course, we're going to be exploring techniques to increasing leads for your local business. Cold calling and canvassing are a thing of the past. Local business internet marketing is the future. If you need more leads and more cash flow for your business, this is the video for you. Conversely, if you are an SEO looking to rank websites and either rent them out or sell leads, this video is also for you. I've spent thousands of dollars on courses and practical testing to bring this information to you. My goal is to give you, for free, the best local business SEO course the internet has to offer. I hope you learned something from this video, and more importantly, I hope you do something with the knowledge. Enjoy. Real quick before getting into the content of this video, if you guys go to the description below, you'll notice a link that says the visual ranking formula. Now, what this formula is a pack of files that I'm giving to you guys for free that complement the topics discussed in this local SEO course. So what you're going to get is an easy website design tutorial for designing a website that both looks good and functions well. So this is for anyone who has moderate or low experience with WordPress, and I'm going to teach you how to build this from scratch within 2 to 3 hours of effort. I also have about 3 to 4 different diagrams that go over topics such as backlink strategy, internal linking, anchor text, and also your silo structure of your website. So definitely check those out. They go super into depth about these topics, and I don't think there's anything like this on the web for free. You guys are going to love this content, so check it out in the description below. Lastly, come check out our local SEO Facebook group. It's a mastermind of SEOs as well as local businesses, all trying to scale their business using digital marketing strategies. And come share your knowledge, come help out, come learn some things. That link is also in the description below. Okay, so all effective keyword research begins offline. SEO is simply a way to quantify the language your customers as well as your company use in everyday life. For this reason, allow your imagination to take hold and begin by simply brainstorming keywords that describe your business. Start by opening up a spreadsheet as you see here. Create a header for broad terms. You may need to split these headers into different columns depending on your varying buckets. For this example, I'm going to be using the term gun shop. Try to keep these terms fairly broad as this is all we'll need in the beginning. Start brainstorming all the broad variations you can for each column until you have a decent sized list. Don't worry about getting too many keywords here because we just need a starting point. Okay, as you can see, I don't have that many terms, just like I was saying before. That's okay, just get started and get a few down. You don't even need to use a spreadsheet for this, honestly. You could just write it on paper, since I did say everything starts offline. So notice how I only have one column. Whereas if you look at this other industry, which is private security, this required the what/who column as well as service. So this all depends on your industry, and just break it down as much as what is relevant. In the end, it's you guys that know your industry best, so do what feels right. Okay, now we're going to start the internet-based search for our keywords. Now head on over to Google, and before you search for anything, type in one of your keywords. So mine is firearms, so we'll start with that. As you can see, there is a Google autocomplete feature, and you want to take any keywords that make sense for your industry from this list. So as you can see, we got firearms safety course. That's something we're going to write down back in our list. Firearms New Hampshire, and just firearms that we already have. Go ahead and type in all of your other terms here and continue to collect keywords that make sense. See here, guns for sale. We'll add that to our list as well. Okay, now type in one of your keywords with your location keyword in there, so firearms New Hampshire, and click search. Scroll down the search results here. Normally you will see advertisements over this depending on your industry. As you can see, we have the local map pack or the local 3-pack. There's a bunch of different slang words used for this. In this video, we're not going to be showing you how to rank for this, although I will be creating a video on that. What we are going to be discussing is how to rank in these results here. Now, what we're going to be doing right now is looking through the titles, the URLs, and the description for keywords that we can add to our list. As you can see, there's firearm dealers, guns, rifles, pistols, licensed dealer, ammunition, full service gun shop, shooting, and a whole bunch more terms. The good thing about this is you'll see the terms that are being bolded, so you can tell that Google is classifying these as synonyms or related terms to your search term, and those are going to be good to add to your list. So do this for every main keyword that you have, and we're going to continue all the way down to the bottom here. Now look at your related searches here and continue to grab more keywords from this list. Used guns, New Hampshire is another term we can add. But like I said, do this for all your terms and continue to add to your list. Also, while you're on the page, might as well go to the URLs and copy and paste these on the same list that you're creating. Don't put these in the columns, but create a new column for themselves, and this is going to be labeled as competition. So go through this and copy and paste all of these URLs into your page and do that for each keyword. However, you can neglect directories such as this right here, as well as the arms list right here. So anything that is a directory or Zillow or Thumbtack, just leave those out. You're really only competing with individual websites. Okay, so let's reverse engineer our competitors' keywords now. So why reinvent the wheel when you can just see what's already working and steal that? The easiest way to optimize your site for keywords that work is to see what your competition is already doing. So go over to semrush.com, and this is a tool that you can use for a limited amount for free per day to get information on your competitors' sites. You can either pay by month or go to this website called SEO Group Buy. Now I put the link in the description below where you can sign up and get a whole host of SEO tools that normally would cost you hundreds of dollars, but you can pay for them for $27 a month for the complete package here. So yeah, as you can see, these are all my tools that I have. If you head on over to SEMrush, all I have to do is refresh this page, make sure I have 2 plugins, Chrome extensions turned on that it has you download, and you should be good to go once you head on over to semrush.com this time. Okay, there we go. We're logged in and everything. Now head on over to your sheet again for your competition and go through each one of these. Copy the domain over, copy and paste it here, and click search. Okay, make sure to hit the organic research in the left-hand sidebar here. Then scroll on down to the organic search positions. This is a table that is going to show you all the keywords that they're ranking for, what position, the volume, quick keyword difficulty rating here, so that can give you a way to scope out the difficulty. Although this is not always true, but it's just a good general rule of thumb. Real quick, some of these you might see brand names in this title. This website doesn't really have it. So in that case, you would have to use an advanced filter. Just click this down arrow here and then press the exclude keyword containing. You can also change this around to word matching, exact match, begins with, etc. and put in the brand name for the website so you can take out those keywords because we're not trying to rank for those. Okay, I gotta scroll on to the side here and you'll see an export button. We want to export this entire list, all of it. Either Excel, CSV, or CSV semicolon, doesn't matter. I'm going to do CSV and then save it. You can do either or, it doesn't matter what file you use, but I like to put mine in Google Drive. So go ahead and continue the process of exporting CSV files for all of the domains on your list. And this is what it's going to look like for the export. We're going to want to clean this up a little bit because right now there's a lot of useless information. So head on over to the previous position and click the top of that column there. Then hold down Control or Command if you're on Mac and click the CPC, the URL, traffic percentage, the rest of these actually, other than the search volume, keyword difficulty, and position. Now, while still holding down Control or Command, right click one of these and then do delete selected columns. This is what we ended up with. Let's delete these other columns here. And there we go. We cleaned up the data. It's a little bit easier to see here. Now do this for the rest of the CSV files that you exported, and we'll get on to the next step. Okay, now go ahead and create a new sheet and call it the mastered keyword list or whatever you want. What we're going to be doing is copying and pasting the cleaned up files that we just had. All that information we're copying and pasting it into one file. As you can see, I took out the positions. That's not necessarily needed. You can keep it in or keep it out depending on what you desire. But I took it out. And what we're also going to be doing is creating a new sheet called content buckets down here. What we're going to be doing is going down this list, using a filter when needed, and picking out terms that have fairly high search volume and could fit into their own bucket of content, and then placing that into categories under one another. Okay, so now what we're going to be doing with this list is moving down, searching down this, and then picking out terms that could fit into their own bucket and have a fairly high search volume. So indoor shooting range, we're going to put that over into our content buckets area here. And as we scroll down, we'll see more words such as indoor gun range. So that's a high volume as well. We're going to place that under the indoor shooting range since they would fall under the same bucket. Once again, we see local shooting range, and we can put that under there as well. As you can see, we see gun store in New Hampshire. We see handgun store, so those can also fall into their own buckets that are going to be separate from the shooting range. To create some filters to make this process a little bit smoother and faster, since you're looking through a lot of keywords, is to create a filter up here. I've went ahead and turned off the filter, so let's teach you how to do it. Click data, then go to the filter button here, and that's instantly going to put these filters up here. So in order to use them, click this button, and then it will pull up this, so you can sort from A to Z. That's just alphabetical, or from low to high if you're doing it on the search volume or difficulty, or you can do filter by condition and choose from an array of a bunch of different options here. So cell is empty, text ends with, text is exactly. So this will help you find words a lot easier that fall under certain buckets. Let's head on over to content buckets and see what the result is. Here we go. I got some of my buckets mapped out. There are definitely more buckets in this industry that I can add to, and more words that I'm going to be adding to this list. But I just want to give you a general sense of what it's going to look like. Notice how from this list we can determine relative words that are going to fit under certain categories. We can determine each page of our website, the home page, which is going to be targeting gun shops in New Hampshire, guns for sale, which is going to be a inner page, probably a shop page, gun safety course, which is also going to be an inner page, and shooting range, which will also be another inner page of our website. It's going to move us into the site internal linking structure, as well as just the structure of our site in general, and that's really, really powerful for Google. They want to see that you guys are relevant to your niche, and relevancy comes from hitting upon all these buckets. Now you might be saying, I don't offer these services. That's fine. If you are an SEO doing rank and rent, might as well put all of these services in that industry. Whereas if you are in the industry and actually a local company, then just put whatever service you add. Okay, now I'm on the home page of a website that I quickly threw up for you guys for an example of on-page optimized content. Now, first thing we're going to be looking at is the URL. Google says the URL doesn't play as big as a role as it used to in SEO. However, I've seen industries very often that have websites that are ranking solely for the fact that they have an exact match URL. By exact match, I mean that the exact keyword that they're trying to rank for is in the URL itself, as you can see with mine. If possible, try to get a exact match if you're a SEO just looking to do the rank and rent method. But if you're a local business, you're gonna want to have your brand name in your domain. So with that being said, try to factor in some sort of related keyword. So say your business was called just Frankie's. You might want to make your URL Frankie's Guns, because guns is going to be recognized by Google, and Google will give weight to your website due to that. This applies also to your inner pages. Let's go over to gun safety course and see what my URL looks like. Up here, you can set this if you're using WordPress or any other CMS. Now, I set this to safety course when my keyword is gun safety course. Why did I leave out the gun? There's a term in Google called proximity, and since I have guns right here, it is close enough to safety course where Google can recognize that this page is in fact about gun safety course. You don't want to over-optimize your URL or anything on your page, so make sure to lean on the side of being more conservative. Secondly, you want your URLs to be descriptive. You don't want to have numbers in this area such as the date or just random jargon that makes no sense. These URLs help with your keyword search and also help with your user experience because they know what's on your page. And very lastly, on URLs, try to keep them as short as possible, not only in the length of words, but also in the amount of slash marks that you have here. The longer your URL gets in terms of slashes, the weaker it's going to be in terms of keyword weight and authority that Google gives you. The next topic we're going to go over is your meta title and your meta description. As you can see, I have my main keyword typed in here and I've searched for it. Scroll down the list and take a look at what your competition's doing first. Look at this top competition here. New Hampshire Gun Shop is doing a great job in terms of optimizing their on-site for search engines. Notice how New Hampshire Gun Shop is basically the keyword just switched around in phrasing. That's fine. Google's smart enough to know what your page is about even if it's switched up like that. Second part, they do Merrimack Firearms. Firearms is a related term to gun, where Merrimack is a city in New Hampshire. New Hampshire's favorite gun shop, they put a modifier term in between this to avoid over-optimization. So notice how they have come close to over-optimizing but used various terms that are related to guns, related to New Hampshire, and then additionally they have a little couple extra dots here. Perhaps they also put in store or something else in here, I'm not sure. But this is kind of what you're going to want to mimic here. Your title is given weight in terms of SEO by Google. What this means is your title will help you rank, whereas your description here won't necessarily help you rank, but it will help to increase click-throughs to your website due to bolded terms, which help your listing pop out, as well as writing potential good copy that just convinces people they want to look at your website. This is theorized in SEO communities that having more people clicking through your website will tell Google that your website adds value and will help you rank higher. There's no definitive research on that, but I believe that Google is moving towards user engagement signals. Additionally, that means you want to write enticing copy that gets people to click through your page. So there's basically two different things that you can do here. You can straight up just kind of steal exactly what the competition is doing, maybe switch it up a little bit, or you can come up with your own. Let's take a look at what I did. I have two different keywords that I'm trying to rank for, so I'm also trying to hit the shooting range keyword as well because that has a lot of volume in it. So I got best gun shop in New Hampshire. Best is a modifying term here, so it makes it a little bit long tail, and people oftentimes will search best for any keyword, honestly. Firearm dealer is relative to gun shop. It's just a related term that's going to help tell them what I'm about. And shooting range facility. Shooting ranges is another related term related to best gun shop. So you want a system to come up with this title. I would say start with a modifier, your main keyword that you're targeting, and then either switch up your main keyword in either phrasing or adding modifiers in between, or adding relative terms such as shooting range or firearm dealer, etc. And then when we're talking about your description, gun shop New Hampshire is a full-service firearms dealer and shooting range located in southern New Hampshire. Top-notch guns, safety courses, and firing lanes. So that adds a little bit of flair, a little bit of excitement. At least for me, I would click through that. It looks a lot more exciting than the other ones. Another thing you can also do if you have the space to do it in the description is add in your phone number or any other contact, any way for someone to contact you, because some people are just impatient and want to see that in the listing and just whip out their phone and call someone. So that might increase your conversions. Okay, back to the homepage of the website. Let's go over headers. This is going to be another important ranking factor for your website. Now, looking at this top header here, this is what we would consider H1. If you are aware of making a website, H1 is just your biggest header. This is going to have the most weight for SEO, and as you move down, it will decrease in weight for SEO. As you can see, for your header, I pretty much just do the same thing as our title tag that's going to be displayed in the search engines. You can add on additional modifiers, additional terms, but just make sure not to over optimize there. H2 titles down here, so the H2 are going to be related terms. So firearms, our store is another related term. As I scroll down, gun manufacturers, shooting range, these are all my H2 tags because these are relative words that I also want to rank for on my alternative pages here. Alright, that's it for the headers. Quickly talk about how much content you want on your page. Now, what I like to do is go over to Google and search for one of your main keywords. Scroll down and then look at the top results. Do this for the top 2 or 3 and just simply copy this text here. Go over to this website called wordcounter.net. I'll put that in the description and count the words. So there's only 138 words on this site. You want to do the same thing for the other websites. Old Glory Ammo. I already did this one, I won't do it again, but this one was around 240, I believe. So you're ranging around 200 words for homepage. My homepage has 300 on it. It doesn't really hurt to go a little bit more. I like to hit that 300 mark. But just try to hit somewhere in between what the other sites are doing. Now, images. Every site's going to have images on it, and it's actually really good for you to have at least one. With the images, ideally you want to keep them as light as possible, meaning a small size in terms of resolution, because heavier images are going to weigh down your website. Let's head on over to my WP dashboard, that's WordPress for short. So right here we're looking at the image on the home page that we were just looking at. As you notice, it has its own URL, a title, caption, alt text, description. So what I like to do is to make sure I fill out the titles and the alt text. Now you can try to fit in some keywords in here, but just don't over optimize. Use related keywords and just natural phrasing that describes what the image is trying to convey. Don't worry about keywords for this, just make sure that your title and your alt text are filled in for all your images. So as I said, image size is another thing that you should be aware of. There's a sacrifice that has to be made in design of your website, and the sacrifice is between design and website speed. You can make a website look beautiful with stunning images, but it doesn't necessarily mean the website will load fast, and generally it's the opposite scenario. So for this reason, not only do I limit the amount of imagery on my sites, I also try to optimize the file size of the images. There are many ways to get around this, but my favorite is to download a cool plugin called Smush, as you can see here, which will allow you to bulk compress image sizes on your website. Best thing about Smush is that the free version is more than enough to get the job done. Another factor that plays into your on-site SEO is your blog post. So Google likes to see that your website has posts that are consistently being posted to your website. They do this because normal websites will do this. So this is something that you want to do fairly consistently. When you are first starting your website, you should probably do this once a week for the first month. If you haven't done any posting, also do this once a week at least for the first month. Get a few posts out there, and then on you should be fine doing 2 or 1 time per month if you just want to keep up with it. Now what this does for your website is it also helps you to get indexed faster by Google. So it is giving you more links that are going to be pointing back to your site. Additionally, you can write these blog posts about relevant topics and then use these as internal links back to your quote-unquote money pages, such as your inner pages and homepage. So this is where relevancy comes in and going deep in topics. So to recap all that, Google likes to see that you have consistent posts on your website that are new, and it helps with your relevancy and the deepness of your topic. So you want to keep posting at least once or twice a month. Now, what are the word counts for these? As long as they're over 500 words, you're pretty good. Try to aim for 750, 1,000 words, just so you can have some legit articles. You can treat these as just articles to help you get ranked, or you can actually try to drive traffic with blog posts. Now, I could make an entire new video with that, but for now, let's leave it at that. I'll show you guys how you can outsource this, because I know it takes a while and nobody likes to write random blog posts. So I'm going to show you one of the outsourcers that I've been working with for writing. He's great and cheap, and he'll produce the best articles that you can get for the money that you pay for. Like I said, if you guys are looking to outsource your content writing for either your blog, your PBNs, or Web 2.0s, then this gig is the best one that I've found. I've been working with this guy for the past 8 months, and he's produced nothing but quality. It's really give or take with outsourcing on Fiverr, but I found this guy, and I'm glad I did. He's not a native English speaker, so you're going to have to proofread every article despite what package you get, but regardless, the prices can't beat. So let's take a look at some of his packages. He's got the basic, which is good for, like he says, filler content. This is for your 2.0s, your PBNs, or if you're just trying to keep your website blog up to date. If you are a local business or you want something more sustainable, I recommend doing the standard or premium. Standard, he's going to give you a standard 750 word article that is high quality. He'll do the research. He does citations. You just give him your focus keywords, the topics that you're interested in him writing about, and he does everything for you. Then the premium package, which is just going to get you a more in-depth article, 1,000 words, high quality, goes into depth into a topic. So I recommend doing that if you want a sustainable online business and you actually want to drive traffic through your blog. Like I said, I put the link in the description below this video. Check out this guy. He's awesome. I'm actually hoping you guys don't overbook him, so I'm a little nervous about putting this on the video, but whatever. He's awesome. He deserves it. So check him out. So let's talk about your website structure. Now, website structure plays a huge part in your on-site SEO, and this is probably one of my favorite parts about SEO in general. But basically, the idea is to spread link authority throughout your site and to add relevancy throughout your site as well. So what do those two terms mean? Well, relevancy is basically how deep your topics are going. So say your homepage is about topic 1. It's a broad term. Now it is linking to 4 inner pages, as you can see below, that are going to be related to that term. Now these inner pages are supported by a blog category page that have multiple different blog posts within that category. Now this is just going to continue to add deepness to your content in your industry. So this is great for your SEO, and Google is moving towards encouraging websites that have this deep content structure similar to this. Now we'll touch upon link authority. So this is what we're doing with all these lines that go in between each page. So from home to inner page, you're passing the authority from home to your inner pages. So whatever backlink comes into your home page, the power of that link is going to be passed down to the inner pages. Additionally, it's going to be passed down to the blog category pages, which links out to all your posts. Now, as you can see, we'll have a post that links back to the inner page, and we have posts that link back to the home page. Now, in the next slide, we'll go over what the anchor text is going to be for these links. But for now, just understand that no matter where a backlink comes into this structure, it is going to be passed in some way or another to another page on your website. So it creates a cycle that enhances the amount of authority you get from backlink. This all being said, this needs to be in place before you buy backlinks. Otherwise, you're not going to get the most bang for your buck, and we all know that buying backlinks are super costly. If you guys want a diagram that's a little bit more detailed than this and also includes the internal linking anchor text, then go to the description here and there should be a link to that free diagram that I'm giving away to you guys. And it's part of the complete package, so check that out. Now let's quickly go over the internal linking diagram. So this is showing you how, just for example, how you might link from each page in terms of the anchor text. So this is just one branch that we're just looking at. If you go from my home, for example, which is ranking for gun shop New Hampshire, and then you link to an inner page. My inner page is about shooting range. Now you link with the anchor text, our shooting range. Pretty simple here. So you're adding relevancy to that inner page one by getting a backlink into it saying that it's about a shooting range. Conversely, if you look at the post at the very top there, post 1, that's linking back to the inner page with high-tech firing range. Now, that's also adding relevancy, but not over-optimizing for the term shooting range. So see how I switched it up. You want to cycle through your anchor text just like you would with backlinks. Now, why is the in New Hampshire in gray? Just because generally Google doesn't really like to see having geolocated anchor text. So I don't know if this applies really to on-site. However, I'd rather just not optimize so much for that. It does apply for off-site, so try to limit the use of any sort of state or country language in the link itself. However, Google does take into account the surrounding text to an anchor text, so put it close to it and it will take that into account. Next step is the firing range facility articles. That links to the blog post page that lists out all of your posts. So that is going to spread that relevancy and juice from the inner and home page to your blog posts, which are going to be related to that category, of course. Now, I try to switch up the pattern as much as possible, so we have a page linking to the inner page and a page, post 2, linking to your homepage. And then lastly, we have a gray page, post 3, which just links in between your two posts. It doesn't link to either the inner or the homepage. So that will just pass the juice no matter where you're going into this system. Before we get into the backlinking strategies of this video, there are 3 different topics I want to discuss just to give us some principles going forward. So there's diversity. There's both link diversity and anchor text diversity. This is basically just changing things up, cycling through. So your links are coming from different places and they are anchored with different texts. Everything that you can do to throw off Google from knowing that you are doing some sort of link building is good. Then we got link velocity. So you want to keep your velocity slow at the start because a new site is not going to be building up backlinks really fast, and then speed it up as your backlinking strategy becomes more mature. Additionally, once you have a backlink structure that's pretty well set, you want to keep your backlinks coming in at a consistent pace. Lastly, there's link authority, and this one's easy. It's just the sites that you want your backlinks from are trustworthy. They have a small number of outbound links. They're just not spammy. So just you want good links coming from strong sources. That's all we got to talk about for these principles, but keep these in mind going forward into the backlink strategy. This is the first phase of the offsite SEO strategies. So this is when gray hat / black hat SEO techniques might start making an appearance. However, this step with all the buffer links are all white hat / gray hat-ish. So why exactly are we building out buffer links? Well, buffer links are just natural looking links that every business has. You'll probably notice a theme that we're just trying to mimic natural looking structures for backlinks. This is the foundation for a good backlink strategy, and that's why we choose to build these out. So these aren't really going to add too much authority to your website. However, they will add a buffer for when we actually start using some aggressive links to your site. If you have a brand new site, build these out in the first month of building the site. And if you haven't done any sort of backlinking, same thing applies. If your site is a little bit older, then you can Perhaps skip some of these if you've already done them. If you see some that you haven't already done, might as well add that into your backlink architecture. The first thing that I always do when creating a new site is create my social profiles. You want to lock in your brand. So these social profiles would be websites such as Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Google+, and Instagram. There's probably a few more that I'm missing there, but as long as you got the big ones, you're good. All you got to do is create a filled out profile for each of these, add in your image, your logo, fill in some of the information in the about section, and then add in your website link if it is acceptable on that platform. Some of them won't allow you to do so. And then create a initial post on each of them, whether that is a video, a quick short video like 2 minutes, it doesn't have to be good, that links back to your site. So you do one on Facebook, you do one on LinkedIn, you do one on Twitter, all of them. Just do a little press release of yourself, just saying, hey, I just released a new website, here it is, link back to it. This is going to help your website get indexed faster, so this is awesome to do up front. The reason being is because there's so many different websites online that Google has to search the big ones first. So it looks at the big sites, such as social websites, and sees where they're linking out to. So it follows those links, and if you're on those sites and you're linking to your website, you'll be indexed a lot faster. Okay, next we got Web 2.0s. So you might not know exactly what a Web 2.0 is. It's kind of just a self-hosted website or blog. Think of Tumblr, which is one of them, or Weebly.com, you've probably heard of. So there's a ton of these. There's like over 100. These do have do follow links, meaning that they do pass authority to your website. So you don't want to go too crazy with these, but build out maybe 5 or 10 of these Web 2.0s. I like to do Weebly.com, WordPress.com. So you're probably building your website on WordPress.org. WordPress.com is just a self-hosted website. It's very basic. Then you got Pinterest, Tumblr, Blogger.com, LiveJournal.com. I'll link out to an article that actually lists out about 100 of these, so you can choose whichever ones you want. I like taking the big ones. Once again, create full profiles on all of these, or create a few starter posts, and then do a post that links out to your website. Hopefully these posts have at least 300 words in them, just so you won't be annihilated from the Web 2.0's hosting immediately. They will clean their platforms of low-performing blogs. All right, next in the list is the blogs and forums. So these are going to be comments. So basically all you got to do is go into some blogs and read through posts, and at the very end you'll have a section where you can comment. Put your own comment in. Hopefully and preferably it is something that adds value to that article, because the writers of the article do have the choice of not allowing your comment to pass. So don't do anything spammy here. You don't have to go crazy with it, but put in the link to your website in the link area. If it doesn't have a link area, you can be a little sleazy and type in some hidden HTML, which I'll put it in the description below. I do it as well, but it's kind of a little sleazy workaround to that. So another thing, going into forums, commenting on posts, relative forums, hopefully in your niche. Social bookmark sites, this is where you can just save information from around the web. Just look up social bookmarks on Google and you'll find a bunch of them. And then local directories, also just Google that, some local directories in your local area. Submit some entries of your own there, and this will help with your SEO as well as part of the stage to ranking in the local map pack as well. Okay guys, let's move on to a little bit more of the gray hat because they're bot links. However, as you can see, the Hoff is super clean, knows exactly what they're doing. They're a little bit higher priced because of that, but when you're buying backlinks, you don't want to mess around. You just want to get the best of the best, and the Hoff is that. So we're gonna start in the first month with the Hoff press release. A press release is a completely natural thing to do for a new company. This involves writing an article announcing the release of your new business and distributing the article online to news aggregates. You most certainly can do this manually. However, this is time consuming, as you most likely don't have existing relationships with online news vendors. Most people don't. So fortunately, there are companies in which you can leverage your existing relationships, such as the Hoth. The links from the Hoth Press will carry some authority over to your site. The links obtained from a Hoth Press release will carry some good link authority, which will in turn be passed along to your website. When buying the Hoth PR package, they'll ask you for the URLs you want links to, as well as the anchor text. So keep the anchor text as a brand name for one of them, domain.com for another, and then http:/domain.com for the last one. So we're not going to do any sort of exact match, no keywords, nothing in this phase. Additionally, link to your homepage, an inner page, and one of your social profiles. I like to do Google Plus since it's owned by Google. So they also have a couple other features. Out of the right side of this diagram, the only one you really need to do is the Hoth Press. Local citations is going to also add authority, but that's more on the side of ranking in the map pack, so that's going to help with that. The Hoth Mini is also a little bit of addition if you need the added boost. This is kind of determined by if you have a competitive niche and you need that extra boost to do so. The Hoth Mini is about $60. If you can afford it, go for it. If not, it's not a big deal. So what you need here is social profiles, Web 2.0's, blog and forum comments, and the Hoth Press. And before I go, for blog comments, do about, do like 50, and then forums do about 15, 20. It doesn't really matter. It's arbitrary. You just want some buffer links there. Okay, so this is going to be the anchor text for all of your buffer links. You want to cycle through all of these, so brand names, the naked URL, so just HTTPs or wwws, or just straight domain.com. All right, so miscellaneous text as well. Click here, read more, and check it out. So this is for all of your buffer links. So we're not going to add in any keywords here. Okay, now we're on to backlink strategy stage 2, aggressive links. So this is going to be within the 2-month, 3-month span of creating a new website. Or if you have an aged website and haven't done any backlink strategy, then this would also apply in 2nd or 3rd month. If you have an older website, you might be able to just start with this earlier on if you have a pretty robust backlink structure. Notice how I created some different colors based on the strategy used here. The lighter colors are more on the side of white hat, where the darker colors are going to be more gray hat and black hat. I'm going to talk about first the strategies that I would suggest using if you are a local business. So the ones I suggest using are the scholarship program at the top there, as well as guest posting. So those are the two main ones, but if you want to speed up the process, then you can also incorporate PBN links. Okay, so let's talk about scholarship programs. This is a super neat strategy to get really hyper powerful backlinks that are local to your website. So how this works is, let's say you're a plumbing industry and want to award $200 scholarship to a local high school student looking to enter a trade school or something. You can then notify local trade schools of your scholarship program, including what students need to do to win. Many will likely have some guidelines for your scholarship to adhere to, but other than that, most will be highly open to the idea. They will then post somewhere on their website about your scholarship program with a link back to your website with a page detailing how to win the scholarship. This is crazy powerful in the fact that you're getting a backlink from an EDU organization, which has high authority, that is local and is relevant to your niche as a trade school. I mean, if you're a plumber or any sort of trade. So it has high relevance, high authority, and local is huge. You can't get better than that. So just think of how this can also apply to government organizations as well. So not just scholarship programs, but just funding. So perhaps you partake/fund or host a government event in your local area. So there's a high chance of receiving a .gov backlink, which is going to have high authority, it's local and relevant. So this method is perhaps the best bang for your buck if you're willing to put in some upfront effort and money. Second one I want to mention for local businesses is guest posting. Now, normally guest posts are something that you can reach out to websites that might be in your industry and suggest writing an article for them, and that's cool. You can still do that as well. And additionally, if you have any friends that have websites of their own, perhaps you can just immediately do a guest post for them and link back to your website in that post. However, my thoughts on this are, depending on the industry and your relationship with your clients, after you've finished a service for a client, might as well offer, if they have a website, to write up a post about your relationship or the service that you provided them. This is a win-win situation because they're getting a free post, which is going to help them get indexed and just is better for their SEO. And they don't have to do anything about it. And you can link back to your site. And they're probably going to be in some sort of related industry. They're probably also going to be local as well. Now, this is going to get you really, really natural links back to your site. And, Google might say this is gray hat, but, there's no way they're going to find this out unless you're totally abusing this. Meaning you're being spammy and not writing good posts, or you're using the same anchor text for everything. So just switch it up as much as possible, and guest posting in scholarship programs should be the best natural way you can get backlinks to your website. Okay, so let's talk about PBN links. What are PBN links? It stands for Private Blog Network, which is simply a conglomerate of websites. You can either build your own network or buy links from other people's networks. Building your own network takes more effort than just building additional sites. You're going to get more bang for your buck doing that, but it's quite complicated. There's a lot of specifics that go into it, and it's easy to mess up and get your entire site de-indexed. Therefore, I don't recommend doing this unless you plan on outsourcing the creation to someone who knows what they are doing. You got to make damn sure that they know what they're doing. Rather, it would make more sense for you to pay for links from PBNs that are trustworthy. So there's two websites that I buy links from. So there's linksmanagement.com. That's my big one. And then, or Diggity Marketing. Diggity Marketing, Matt Diggity's a really big marketer. He's really big into SEO. He's well known. And he's built a huge PBN that you have to apply for to get in. But if you do get in, you are pretty guaranteed that you're going to get some strong backlinks from him. So assuming you can't get into that, go to linksmanagement.com. The link's in the description below. I use the Links Management quite often for all my websites, and they even have a cool auto pick feature that will pick out websites that are good links for your situation, and it presents it to you, and you can buy them if you want to. However, if you use links management, it's essential that you still do some background check, even though they background check the websites that they're offering. A simple background check that you guys should do for every site that you're buying a link from is to check to make sure that the content first is legit and not spammy. Another thing to check for is the amount of links coming out of that page. If there's a lot, it's going to reduce the amount of authority you're going to get from it. And then if those links are going to spammy websites that are, maybe Russian, then it might not be a good thing. So check to make sure the citation flow is not substantially higher than the trust flow using majesticseo.com. Link is in the description. Check what websites are linking to the site and what their anchor text is. So you can do that using the Majestic SEO tool. Just go to the anchor text section and it will show you all that information. So links management will give you the option to add additional text around your link. So use that all the time. Make sure your paragraph of text makes complete sense and looks natural. Google also takes into account the text around a link, so this is very important. Conversely, you could just not think about any of this and instead outsource PBN links using my personal outsource section on my blog, absurdity.com. Okay, so that was long. So we got two more. Broken links. This is where you go to websites in a related niche and you look to see if they have any links that are sending you to a 404 page where the page doesn't exist anymore, and you contact the owner of that website and you tell them they have a broken link on their website and that your site might be a good replacement. This helps them because having a broken link is bad for user experience and it helps you to get a backlink. Now, a good way to do this is use an automated tool. It's called Screaming Frog, and just look it up in Google or go in my description. I have a link to it. It's a free tool. You just It basically mimics Google's crawlers, and it will crawl a website and tell you if there's any broken links. I would suggest crawling specifically resource pages if they have them, because they have a lot of outbound links on them, and then you can just contact those owners. This is like the oldest school SEO method right here, but it still works and it's still good. Then there's content marketing, link bait. So this is actually the whitest of the white for white hats. This is basically just making really good authority content that people want to link to, and attracting links by providing the best content in your industry. A lot of methods to doing this is, a lot of people like infographics, so that's a big one, as well as just by creating an authority blog post that is just adds so much value that people just want to share it and link to it. So yeah, I'm not going super deep into any of these strategies because a video could be made on each one, or a blog post, and I may do that for the PBN links here. But yeah, for any of the other strategies that I didn't really go into depth, yeah, so just basically choose the strategies that will fit you the best, and just do a little bit of further researching on them, because I don't have time to go over that in this video. Okay, now let's quickly go over the anchor text for your aggressive links. This is where you can continue to do your brand name anchor text, such as your company name, and you can now start adding in your keywords such as exact match, partial match, like long tail forms, different phrasing, and related / synonyms of your keywords. Just cycle through these, switch it up as much as possible.